NicknLex here.
Hey everyone!
How's it going, guys? So
Tonight,
woo, we're gonna do some Steely Dan. We're all prepped up. We're all ready. And this is from Michelle. Michelle, thank you so much for choosing Steely Dan for us to react to. We're gonna do Showbiz Kids. So we've been to a few shows. We've seen Steely Dan live. We've been to two Citizen Dan
if you're
concerts.
in the Denver area, we always give them a shout out, so please go check out Citizen Dan. Awesome.
They play Steely Dan just like Steely Dan.
Awesome folks, very, very cool guys and gals. Amazing arrangement, the way they're able to just nail everything.
Capture the essence.
So we may have heard it then, or when we went to go see Steely Dan live without
But I don't think it was on the set list. But the possibility that they've played it live exists, but they don't really announce, oh, we're gonna play Asia next, or sometimes, but they just go from song to song. So maybe we've heard it. If I really recognize it, I will say so. But this is from Countdown to Ecstasy. One of really, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here that I love. Your Gold Teeth, the Boston Rag, My Old School, like when they play that, King of the World, my God. So there's a lot of good stuff.
This is a great album, and I think after we do this one, if I'm not mistaken,
that's it.
We might only have one
Razor
or two left, maybe Pearl.
Pearl of
and Razor.
And Razor, that's it.
I don't know. You guys, we love Steely Dan. Thanks to the channel, and we're so excited to share this with you. Thank you, Michelle, for sponsoring this, for being such an amazing part of our Steely Dan discovery. We actually remembered that our first Steely Dan reaction was in fact not Peg. It was the Caves of Altamira, and when I told you, you were so shocked.
No.
Shocked again. You can look it up. It was Michelle herself that requested it, and it was the Caves of Altamira. And then something happened, and we like reset. But it's been a fun discovery and a fun time. So thank you all so much for being such a big part of it, and I'm excited to share Showbiz Kids. Showbiz Kids with you guys. Let's get started. 1973. Awesome. I love this album. Love the cover. Let's go.
We even have the shirt.
We have the shirt.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go. 1, 2, and boom.
Sleeping with the shade on the light, while the poor people sleeping, all the stars come out at night. While the poor people sleeping with the shade on the light, while the poor people sleeping, all the stars come out at night. After closing time at the Guernsey Fair, I detect the El Supremo from the room at the top of the stairs. Well, I've been around the world, and I've been in the Washington Zoo, and in all my travels, as the facts unravel, I found this to be true. While the poor people sleeping with the shade on the light, while the poor people sleeping, all the stars come out at night. While the poor people sleeping with the shade on the light, while the poor people sleeping, all the stars come out at night. the Steely Dan t-shirts, and for the coupe they cry. They're outrageous, honey, let me tell you, while the poor people sleeping with the shade on the light. While the
Okay. I can't find it. It's very repetitive. I've not heard this song before. Have you?
I've heard it, I think, from Citizen Dan playing it live, just because I remember that line, the Steely Dan t-shirts. And I remember when we started listening to Steely Dan, someone wrote a comment saying, like, I think we were wearing our Steely Dan t-shirts, and they're like, ha-ha, and then put in quotes like their Steely Dan t-shirts. So I was like, oh, that's gonna be in a song somewhere. So, but I've never heard it like in the studio version with headphones. I had not heard the and I can't remember the song per se. I just can remember like that song, and then the vocalist,
because that's what I'm like hanging on to, the backing vocals. I always pay so much attention to those, and I can't picture that. What lost wages?
Yeah.
Wages? No. So even though and maybe if we saw them live, I was maybe talking to someone.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
I didn't miss that one.
See something
like I
live.
think I was talking to Lee or Doug. Because we were the second time we were not singing along, we were more like kind of like just there. So if they played that one, I do miss it. It's very different. It's not as jazzy as I like it to be. You know, it's more straightforward rock, but it's cool. I do like it. Yeah, it has a different vibe. It's more like it doesn't have those chord progressions that I love so much that I like.
And I'm missing some horns too. And some, like,
but it's more like a straightforward rock and roll experience, don't you think?
Yeah, and I like it. I enjoy it. I mean, we're Steely Dan
like
fans,
fanatics,
so we can't necessarily say, "Oh, I don't like this one," but we can compare it to other tracks that we just love and adore. And
I mean, it's not like the last one we did, you know, which was the Western World. Those chord progressions were just amazing. But this is just a different era. It's a different Steely Dan era. It's not 80, not 79. That's it's true. 73, right? So it's just a different time. But I mean, Gold Teeth is amazing. Your Gold Teeth.
Bodhisattva,
the Boston, My Old School. I think My Old School, have we ever done that? For YouTube?
I don't know. Think so. I don't think so either.
But that one is like they played that at the end. The entire stadium went nuts. And you can also see it on the reproductions.
Yes, that one I do remember that we heard.
And it's a cool song live. Too. But let's continue. I do dig it. I do dig it. I have to hear the whole thing. Let's go.
People sleeping with the shade on the light, while the poor people sleeping, all the stars come out at night. While the poor people sleeping with the shade on the light, while the poor people sleeping, all the stars come out at night.
Major fade out.
Yeah. So, let's see. So that was not a harmonica, but they did have an harmonica solo afterwards. That was just like high-pitched screaming.
Oh.
Or singing.
Okay.
So, but did you hear that there was like this two voice? I don't know if it was Donald twice or if it was somebody else.
And yeah, his voice is very different in this song. And that's why I know I have never heard the studio version of this, because I would have like remembered his voice being like this. But I do remember several aspects of the song, like the F-bomb that you cut.
I know. I was like, that's the first one I've ever heard.
Yes.
That's so crazy. Yeah, because always very clean, but this one was like boom, you know.
Yeah.
But now to the composition, I do have to say this is my first time ever that it was a tad repetitious for my taste.
Yeah.
But I know I'll fall in love with the song because it's Steely Dan. Because I remember having this problem when we were into Asia and Gaucho, and then got back and listened to Pretzel and Katie and this one. I was having trouble liking it. I was like, it's okay, but it's not. And now I'm like,
yeah,
you know?
I can see that.
But
I mean,
it's an acquired taste. Like it's just like the cut wages. It's too much of cut wages.
Lost.
It's like too much money lost. No, it's just like it's sung too often. But I'm sure that in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna be like, yeah, put on Showbiz Kids, you know, and woo,
I think it's hard the way that we discover bands in general, including Steely Dan, that we're not listening to it like you guys. I mean, you guys who lived through it as it was coming out, okay, you were listening to it really as it was released. Others really went back and said, I'm going to go listen to Steely Dan as it was released. We're jumping around, and that's the hard part, is to say,
and we've been jumping around
okay,
for
now
2
we're
years.
listening to this Steely Dan, and now that Steely Dan. And but I enjoyed it. I think it's got some fun to it. I can hear
I
like
love the solos.
Yes.
I loved your air guitar with a freaking slide.
Do you put the slide on the pinky, or
I mean,
where?
you can literally put it on wherever you want.
I was wondering that. I'm like,
if you put it here, that's kind of like. But
see.
it's also, I've seen people wear it like this.
Okay.
Like
because
that.
my pinky was so
and it
small
impairs you very much. It impairs
just
your hand.
Sliding off.
Yeah, no, it does impair you like dramatically. You can't really do anything because it's like trapped.
Yeah,
and it's like in finger prison. But no.
Well, thank you, Michelle, because if not for you, we would not have heard like the studio track.
Right. We've really tried to make Steely Dan a YouTube exclusive only, like where every song is being reacted. So we never did Out of Time, which is a bummer because it has Mark Knopfler.
Yeah,
maybe we could do it because it's such a, I'm still talking about that song that Mark was not used properly.
Yeah, I know. I remember you.
And it's such a dumb thing because it's like, only because he doesn't read music and he's not like academic. He's a master. Yeah. He's a, for me, Mark Knopfler is a guitar game changer. And to like not use his genius is just a misfire for Donald and Walter. I don't know what they're thinking.
Maybe there was too much genius in the room.
I guess.
And there was like a short circuit. And then
maybe Donald was like, you know what, you're too good. Get out of here, you know? I mean, I'm happy that he still got paid in a huge, ridiculous amount of money. And they did record him for like 24 hours of material. But the final product does sound like a Dire Straits song, but it's not enough. You know?
Yeah, I agree. But this was a lot of fun to do. like Nick said, he'll give it a few more listens and see.
Oh, I love
I'll
it.
give it more
I'm not
listens.
even worried.
We'll give it more listens together. And but thank you all so much for being here. We know that we're doing a lot of Steely Dan on the channel, and yes, there are other bands, but we want to get through Steely Dan. We want to share it with you guys. Why? Because thanks to you, we know them, so we feel a sort of obligation to share it with you.
I can't wait to do. I know there's other bands, but there's not another band like Steely Dan. Sorry, maybe there's better bands, but the Dan has just such a cool style that I enjoy so much. And once we're done, maybe we'll get into Chicago, and then we're gonna be obsessed with Chicago, or I don't know, because Chicago is a very great contender. That is also amazing. I want to do a lot
more Chicago. But so once we get all the Dan out of the way,
which will happen soon,
and it's something I don't want to happen. So every time it's like, okay, one more, you know, and I'm like, woohoo! But then I'm like, oh Lord. That means we're just gonna listen to reruns all the time, but I mean, watching rerun Seinfeld episodes. Although now with Chat GTP or GPT that they did, or with the AI they did.
Oh my god, that's so creepy though. It's scary.
Yeah,
it's like soon we're gonna have an AI that's gonna write Steely Dan songs. That would be horrible.
I know,
because they can learn all the tricks and all the chords and all the stuff they use, and then. But I don't want that. I don't want AI created Seinfeld episodes. I want them to get back together. I would never support it. I'm too old school. You know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would be hard.
I've been looking on YouTube, like all kinds of AI stuff, but it's just scary. It is literally today I was looking up dystopia. Yes, big just, you know, for fun. But thank you so much, Michelle. We wish you the best. Kisses to you, everyone out there who supports us. And also who supports Steely Dan. And we have a lot of subscribers that literally subscribe to us because of Steely Dan. So thank you so much for having us. And we'll hope to see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.